Ladies and gentlemen, Papoose returns to the kitchen with a brand new boiling pot, just when you thought the tea had gone cold. He also brought the receipts this time. So-called evidence of a covert relationship, not rumors or whispers, has the internet yelling terms like sick, twisted, and career-ending. And who is involved in this mess? Claressa Shields was the GWA to herself and the man she vowed to be with no matter what. Let me ask you this. How did you go from being the epitome of loyalty in hip-hop to being at the heart of the most disgusting betrayal triangle we've witnessed this year? How does the professional face-puncher get knocked out by screenshots and leaked voicemails? Why does Papoose appear to be the one being played behind the scenes, despite the fact that he founded his entire brand on never being disrespected? These fresh receipts, according to sources, don't merely allude to fortifications. A complete underground story is laid out by them, a trail of direct messages, hush money transfers, and private hotel meetings that could ruin legacies all night. Will Claressa make it through the fallout? Or did Papoose just drop the final nail in the coffin? Scandals have many levels, ladies and gentlemen. A rapper's side woman posting a suspicious Instagram story from the same hotel is a common myth about cheating. Then there's the nuclear bomb variety, which challenges fans' preconceived notions about love, devotion, and legacies. We are currently witnessing the live detonation of one of those nuclear bombs, because Papoose did more than simply return the clap. He made more than a suggestion. More receipts fell from his mouth. A story that is so disorganized that you need gloves to even touch it is painted by screenshots, audio, murmurs, and tiny digital footprints. This is the setup now. Olympic rings, championship belts, and pretty much everyone stupid enough to enter the ring with her have all been defeated by Claressa Shields, the GWAT. However, it seems that her biggest battle isn't taking place in front of an arena. Papoose argues that the receipts, the DMs, and the shadows show that she and her fiancé were more than simply romantic partners. They collaborated on something far more sinister, a supposedly ill-hidden connection that transpired behind his back. Furthermore, nothing is more popular on the internet than dragging a hypocrite, especially one who has gold medals hung on the wall. How did we get here, then? Let's go back to the initial blast. Most people chuckled when the first rumors circulated about Claressa and Papoose's friendship. No, she is very preoccupied with boxing. Remy would never be disrespected by Papoose. Receipts began to leak out, so the final one grew stale like sour milk. Blurry party pictures, late-night likes, and maybe phony direct messages. Claressa's ex entered the conversation like a villain in a Marvel film, releasing ambiguous tweets, promising truth bombs, and then cleverly leaking what appeared to be hotel confirmations while everyone was busy debating authenticity. Bearing Claressa's name. Let's fast forward to Papoose's most recent action. He exposes rather than merely denies or defends. Insiders say the man has had enough. It is said that he engaged a private investigator. Yes, you heard correctly. To investigate Claressa's and her fiancé's relationships. And you know what turned up? Money transfers, covert dinners, and phone calls at unprofessional hours are all documented in the receipts. According to one bank statement that was released, Claressa's fiancé transferred $5,000 to a consultant. Isn't that a cute title? However, unnamed sources claim that the consultant was closely associated with describe a Detroit meeting between Papoose and Claressa. Why Detroit? Why that evening? Why did Papoose tell the world that he was in the studio that same weekend? The timeline appears dubious. Furthermore, a suspicious timing is essentially a confession in scandal culture. Not to mention the rumors about hotel check-ins. Claressa and her fiancé were seen slipping into the same fancy hotel, according to several unnamed followers, and they were seen departing hours later. Finally, a hotel employee cleverly leaked a grainy CCTV screen grab that showed 3 figures in the lobby. Is it incredibly clear? No. Is it important? No too. As the internet has already determined that these are the ones. The case is over. Remy Ma, the lady caught in the midst of this whirlwind, is also refusing to remain silent. Recall that Claressa has previously been warned to keep away. However, insiders claim that she is enraged behind closed doors. I'm angry at Papoose as well as Claressa. According to unnamed family acquaintances, Remy showed Papoose the receipts and questioned him about if any of them were accurate. He supposedly did not dispute that he deflected in his response. People are attempting to destroy us. They're making edits. Keep them from winning. Let's be honest though. Fans smell blood when you start talking about people changing stuff rather than calling this phony. Claressa tries to maintain her composure in the meantime, posting inspirational quotations, training videos, and encouraging remarks about maintaining concentration is okay. But the issue is that remaining silent during a controversy comes seen as guilt rather than strength. It's not getting any easier because of her ex. He's implying that the unhealthy aspect of the covert relationship goes beyond simple emotional infidelity. It's manipulation, psychological tricks, and even a financial component. He said that Claressa's fiancé was doing more than simply supporting her. Allegedly, he was aiding in the cover-up, enabling the entire situation, and possibly even profiting from the mayhem. Netflix salivates at the thought of such a twist. Let's take a moment to second. Why is this so explosive? Because being untouchable, invincible, and unashamedly authentic were the cornerstones of Claressa's brand. The fighter who claps back against skeptics is her. The woman who claims to be the best in the world. For a period. However, when you assert grandeur, you set yourself up for failure. Additionally, that target simply become a bullseye if Papoose actually had receipts proving Claressa was engaging in covert gaming. The internet isn't doing any good either. Timelines that correspond to Instagram posts made by Claressa and Papoose on the same evenings in the past have already been assembled by Twitter detectives. Identical cities. Is it a coincidence? Fans no longer think that coincidences happen. They're sharing side-by-side screenshots with harsh remarks, a la CSI Instagram. Although she battles in the ring, she is unable to resist temptation. Miss Legacy caught Mr. Loyalty sliding. Nobody is safe in this battle of memes. Here's the twist, though, that turns this from a muddle to something blatantly evil. A voice note that has been leaked and is making the rounds on dubious gossip blogs claims that a man who remarkably like Claressa's fiancé says, "If this comes out, we're both finished." Who's we? Why did you finish? Supporters believe it has something to do with the alleged horrible secret that Papoose is now disclosing. Some claim it has to do with adultery. Some believe it has to do with money. It's even linked to fight-fixing rumors, according to some conspiracy theorists. Perhaps insane, but on Twitter more bizarre things have gone viral. And Claressa's ex continues to stoke the fires as all of this is going on. He said she believed she could play everyone in a recent tirade. However, the truth always prevails. Hold off till they view the actual tapes. The actual tapes. I apologize, but are we now discussing videos? Because if it's real, the game is ended if a video appears. Even if it is grainy, indistinct, or appears to have been altered suspiciously. There is disagreement over screenshots. You can't deny audio. But that's blood in the water video. At the end of section 1, where does this leave us? Papoose no longer merely makes insinuations. He's supposedly revealing that Claressa and her fiancé were having a covert affair behind his back. One that is being referred to as sick, twisted, and manipulative. The ex is threatening to release recordings. The internet is scrutinizing every fuzzy pixel. Remy Ma is also honing her claws, awaiting her next action. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the cliffhanger. If this is accurate, there will be more than simply DMs and screenshots in the upcoming wave of receipts. It includes audio snippets, money traces, and something so explosive that it has the potential to permanently ruin Claressa's name. The second part is where things really start to fall apart. You're not prepared for what's about to happen, I assure you. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, standing at the very edge of the precipice that Papoose shoved us to. With rumors of money trails, audio snippets, and actual tapes set to be dropped, part 1 came to a close. And if you felt that the initial batch of receipts was disorganized, get ready, because let's just say that even Hollywood screenwriters would have rejected the alleged 6 secrets that Claressa Shields and her fiancé have been concealing because they are too implausible. Rumor has it that Papoose did more than simply provide screenshots. The dude went into full private investigator mode. Oh dear. We're discussing hotel registers, bank information, and yes, audio leaks. Fans are commenting. Excuse me? Ruin what exactly? Her relationship? In response to a clip purportedly showing a woman's voice that sounds strangely similar to Claressa stating, "Make sure nobody finds out about him. It'll ruin everything." Then there's the money. Was it her legacy or something greater? Anonymous insiders claim that Papoose made the connection between a string of wire transfers and Claressa's fiancé. Nor are we discussing pocket change. Allegedly, tens of thousands were transferred under false consultation fees. Here's the worst part though. Those transfers correspond. Ideal for dates during Claressa's overseas training. Either meeting someone she shouldn't have met or training. You make the decision. And that's not all. A shaky video purportedly taken from hotel CCTV that showed a man who appeared to be her fiancé exchanging something was part of Papoose's most recent release. In the lobby with a hooded figure. Were keys involved? Was it money? Although no one is certain, fans embraced it right away. The drop-off point is there. They concealed it in this way. Though the speculations are more outrageous than a Netflix documentary, speculation is common in scandal culture. Oxygen. Remy Ma, meantime, is apparently furious. She is done being kind, according to people close to her. She told pals, according to one insider, "Claressa better keep my husband's name out of her mouth before I put her on blast." On blast? Is she not already on blast, sis? But you'd better get ready when she says something's coming, Remy. Let's discuss the public's response. Detectives on Twitter are having a great time. Trending hashtags include hashtag ClaressaExposed, hashtag ReceiptsGate, and hashtag Papoose knows everything. Memes are spreading more quickly compared to the real proof. Another popular tweet said, "Imagine fighting all your life just to lose to screenshots. Brutal. But wait, it gets darker. Remember that leaked voice note." Another tweet added, "Papoose played chess. Claressa played checkers and lost the board." I brought up the purported incident in which her fiancé said, "If this gets out, we're both finished." Well, apparently that wasn't even the worst part. The extended clip conveniently leaked by a so-called friend of a friend includes a line where he adds, "We should have destroyed that recording. When we had the chance, oh, a tape. Which tape?" This is where things start to sound like a full-blown scandal movie. Anonymous sources are claiming the tape. The internet went into overdrive right once. Fans demanded answers. What's on it? Who filmed it? And most importantly, who still has it? Shows Claressa and Papoose together, not just hanging out, but in a compromising situation according to one gossip blog, which claims it features a hotel suite, a bottle of champagne, and music playing in the background. Another blog maintains that it is only an audio recording and not a video, but fans are more interested in the story than in the specifics. And the story at the moment is that Claressa Shields' spotless image is disintegrating more quickly than a stale cookie, but we must also consider the fiancé, who, if these leaks are accurate, wasn't just watching. He was reportedly helping to make the whole thing happen. Consider this. Wire transfers. A hidden hotel conspiracy theorist claimed that he was not only Claressa's romantic partner, but also her partner in cover-ups, bookings, and dubious meetings. Some even claim that he profited financially by pulling strings while Claressa's name bore the burden. And if that is the case, the word sick hardly describes it. And speaking of scratching, the claws are definitely out. Other celebs are chipping in, casting shade without naming names. One rapper tweeted, "Loy is rare. Keep it safe. Nothing is worse than creating a legacy based on false information." Another reality TV personality shared a mysterious Instagram story. The court of public opinion has already found the case guilty, but here's the real bombshell. There are rumors of legal issues. Apparently, some of the money transactions that Papoose revealed weren't simply dubious. Fans quickly noticed the connection and tagged Claressa and Papoose in the comments. If investigators choose to look into this, Claressa and her fiancé may face much more than public humiliation. Imagine creating a business and then having it fail due to careless financial concealments. That's the kind of collapse the internet thrives on. And if that wasn't enough, Claressa's ex keeps stirring the pot. "The world hasn't seen half of it," he said in a recent tirade. "Everyone will realize how deep this went when the entire tape is released. The entire cassette once more. People are now pleading for it to leak so that the rumors can stop. However, until then, the craze will continue to be fueled by every out-of-context receipt, muffled audio clip, and fuzzy photograph." How does Papoose himself fare? Throughout all of this, the man seems strangely at ease, almost content. Some admirers even think he planned this gradual leak of proof to do as much harm as possible. Initially first the audio, then the screenshots, and finally the money trails. He seems to be constructing a case one leak at a time. And we're barely halfway through the carnage if that's accurate. The reputation of Claressa is a major issue that should not be disregarded. This woman based her entire identity on self-control, loyalty, as well as overcoming obstacles. However, at the moment, she seemed to have been unable to resist temptation, may have been careless with her secrets, and misjudged how vicious Papoose could be when provoked. Fans are starting to ask, can she ever recover? Or has the GWAT title already been ripped away? Not in the ring, but in the tabloids. And I leave you hanging right here. Part 2's conclusion. Because whereas Part 1 introduced us, Part 2 showed us the money, the audio, the receipts, and the dubious tapes. However, the repercussions truly hits in Part 3. We're talking about public outrage that might permanently ruin careers, potential financial consequences, and government probes. If you believe that this controversy was already disorganized, you haven't yet seen anything. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. The culmination of a scandal so massive that it makes hip-hop and love seem like Sesame Street. By now, we've seen money trails, screenshots, and rumors of a cassette so poisonous that it might wipe out 2 generations. Additionally, as the fallout is here as promised, devastating, ugly, and unrelenting. First, let's look at the government perspective. Do you recall the dubious wire transfers that Papoose was purportedly involved in with Claressa's fiancé? Rumor has it that several 3-letter agencies were interested in the transactions. Yes, IRS as well as FBI allegedly probing around. Anonymous insiders allege subpoenas have already been drafted to check into financial problems. Imagine suddenly moving from Olympic gold to potential tax fraud. Talk about a storyline twist. Then there is the realm of boxing. Claressa's face was originally plastered throughout. All of a sudden, the billboards are quiet. She was even removed overnight from one brand's social media profile. Fans saw right away. The remarks were harsh. Oh no, it was receipts, not opponents, who knocked her out. Another person commented, she ought to have worn digital gloves instead of boxing gloves. Isn't the only person under scrutiny. In a Breakfast Club interview, her fiancé is being dragged harder than a rapper, with bloggers accusing him of living off her fame, putting money into side projects no one asked for, and now allegedly planning cover-ups. One popular TikTok even referred to him as the Kris Jenner of poor choices. Savage. Meanwhile, Papoose is strutting around as if he's just won a championship belt. He's calm and collected, but he's making fun of every bar he raps. Rumor has it that he's even considering making a mixtape out of the entire controversy. The irony speaks for itself, but let's go back to that notorious tape. In part 2, we discuss the purported audio in which Claressa's fiancé mentioned destroying it. Fans are consuming the song, calling him Sherlock Papoose and making jokes about him being the first rapper to solve crimes rather than commit them. What's on the tape? Theories range from incriminating conversations to full-on compromising footage. Sources now say the tape has actually been circulating in underground circles, with one gossip forum claiming that a few journalists have already heard snippets, but that legal threats are preventing it from going public. Fans are vicious. She can take a punch, but she couldn't avoid the blow. Then comes the betrayal narrative. Claressa, the so-called GW, the fighter who based her story on loyalty, discipline, and overcoming the struggle, is now portrayed as someone who allegedly couldn't overcome temptation. The lack of clarity only makes the buzz louder. DMs. All those belts but lost the one thing that mattered, read one of the trending tweets. Show respect. The internet is merciless. Don't assume, however, that Remy Ma has been quiet. She has reportedly had enough of the subliminals and is getting ready for a sit-down, according to recent sources. Interview to finally clear the air, and knowing Remy, clearing the air truly means destroying Claressa's reputation. If that occurs, it will be her battle to remain relevant, not just to advance in her career. Let's also discuss the boxing commission, where rumors of a suspension are circulating, but not for fighting controversies, but for the purported financial wrongdoing connected to her fiancé. Picture the headlines. Champion suspended due to receipt scandal. That's not only embarrassing, it's career suicide. With sponsors already pulling out, the financial impact may be disastrous. Despite all of this, Claressa is allegedly preparing a defense, preparing for a tearful Instagram live in which she will deny everything, blame phony receipts, and promise to reveal the truth shortly. But let's face it, no amount of crying filters can save you once the public finds you guilty. Conspiracy theories abound, and her fiancé's radio silence just makes matters worse. Fans are calling for him to speak up, but his silence is being perceived as guilt. Just ask Jordan Woods, T.I., or anyone else who has ever tried to outcry online. It doesn't work. Multiply. Did he orchestrate it all? Did he conceal the tape? Or is he merely trying to hide his own footprints before the hammer falls? This is where it gets interesting. Legal experts commenting on talk shows say that if the financial accusations are proven true, Claressa may be subject to fines in the millions. Not only is that money lost, but it's possibly career-ending debt. When you combine that with the potential for legal actions from sponsors alleging brand harm, the so-called GWAT is suddenly battling for her life outside of the ring. And the public, oh, they're feasting. TikTok edits of her past talks about discipline and dignity are now studded with clown emojis. One compilation named Claressa vs. Claressa has racked up millions of views. In one clip, she swears, "I'll never let distractions ruin me." Cut to one up-and-coming rapper dropped the line, believing she was GWT, but Receipt responded, "Nope." Leaked screenshots of purported late-night texts with Papoose. Brutal. Let's not forget the hip-hop scene. Artists are already utilizing her name in punchlines. The shadow is unrelenting. It's almost impossible to recover once your scandal becomes a joke. But here's the catch, ladies and gentlemen. Just when you think things can't get any worse, insiders say there's still one more shocking revelation that hasn't been made yet. Some believe it's a video, while others are adamant that it's the question is, can Claressa's barrier withstand this avalanche? Can her fiancé somehow talk his way out of the villain role? Or is this the moment the internet, hungry, cruel, and ready to pounce, finds a paper trail that links everything back to well-known promoters? If the tape comes to light, if the investigators investigate further, and if sponsors continue to sever ties, this isn't just a scandal. It's the end of an empire. And perhaps, just possibly, that's exactly what Papoose wanted all along. And there it is. A so-called power couple collapses under the weight of their own secrets. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the scandal that will not go away. From leaked direct messages to money trails, from dubious hotel meetings to rumors of an explosive tape, this story has transformed Claressa Shields' supposedly unbeaten legacy into a circus act that the entire world is unable to stop watching. In the midst of it all, Papoose is enjoying a calm cup of tea, while the question that keeps me up at night is whether this is truly about love, devotion, and betrayal, or if it's something deeper. Did Papoose set this up as retaliation? Did Claressa's fiancé play a role? Casually dropping receipts that cause entire lives to fall apart overnight. The boxing world is on edge, the hip-hop streets are bustling, and the internet, oh, the internet, is merciless, turning every screenshot into a meme, every rumor into a trending hashtag. Are we witnessing the slow-motion breakdown of a power couple who believed they were untouchable? Or are we seeing both sides vie for influence and money? If that last bombshell Papoose is reportedly holding on ever goes public, well, let's just say history books won't call this a scandal. They'll call it a demolition. That being said, this is by no means done. So I'm tossing it to you. Which side are you on? What do you think that final bombshell could be? Leave your theories in the comments. Is Papoose the devoted husband turned avenger? Or is he just another man using heartbreak as a publicity stunt? Is Claressa simply the victim of a smear campaign? Or is she guilty of playing a game that finally caught up with her? If you enjoy chaos, hit the like button. Additionally, remember to subscribe, because the vibe of gossip spills because when the next bit